this potato looking ass, this absolute like potato head looking ass, you know, Bugatti driving ass, you know, multi-millionaire looking ass, being ass, whatever you want to call it, scamming these people, giving you the stupid Hustlers University little subscription nobody asked for, saying he's on top of the world, he's this motherfucking top G, he's all of this and all of that. Well, I've got to tell you right now, right, this guy has so much copium, this guy fails to realise the truth here.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the James Ramblin' Show, coming at you live on Friday night. Tonight's your host, James May.
Hello, welcome back to the James Ramblin' Show. Yet another week of this podcast. So, I've talked about phone brands, my experience I've had on the internet, the wild experience I've had on the internet. I've talked about YouTubers. I had that guest on, which was connected kind of because it was involving this influencer we might jump into in this episode. And then we had the podcasts. By the time this comes out, that podcast will come out. I'm bringing that up because this is what continuing the technology saga again, because there is still a lot to cover here. I'm not going to do 10 episodes on it, but this will be another episode in that realm. So I said influencer, right, in the guest episode, right, involving something to do with Andrew Tate, whatever. So we're going to be talking about celebrities and influencers and basically my thoughts on it, not my taste in it. It's just about it's basically just taste, thoughts, and then there was that one episode about experiences. So to get into the episode itself, what is an influencer and what is an influencer? What is a celebrity? So this is bait for just to explain it just briefly. It's like when somebody gets really famous, they amass so much fame, they become popular amongst people, everyone knows them and that stuff like that. Like you have celebrities in movies, you have music artists, YouTubers, that stuff, podcasts, that stuff. That's kind of what a celebrity and an influencer is. So there's quite a few of these people. I'll get the first few. I think the first influencers that I'll get. I'll go with celebrities first, and then we might jump into influencers and kind of talk and maybe talk about some interesting ones as well. So celebrities, there is a few celebrities we could dive into here. So celebrities, The Rock is a notable one. The Rock, he's that bald guy, you know who he is, he's been in the WWE and that kind of thing. Well, I think he's an alright guy. Doesn't matter what you say about him, he is quite an interesting person. He's like, can you smell what the rag is cooking? And he's just done, like he did that whole thing with the gym stuff, he made that gym song. That was interesting. There was actually this one time where I actually thought imagine The Rock being a rapper because of the way he is and stuff. He's an interesting celebrity. Yeah, just a big bald dude. He's like from Samoa. He did the voice of Moana. Not Moana, but he did that voice of that giant dude in Moana. And that's basically who The Rock is. We all know who The Rock is. He's one of the most famous people of all time, and he's been in many movies. I think he's been in the Fast and Furious movies before. Like, he's done a lot of things in his career. So my thoughts on him is that he's alright for what he is. He doesn't seem like a total scumbag. You know, maybe he has some views on things that are insane, but yeah, the Rock is an alright dude. That's my thoughts on him. The next celebrity, there's a lot of them. So celebrities, yeah. Tom Duncan's, you remember him, right? I've talked to him twice, and he likes sitcoms, right? He loves sitcoms, and there's actually a big celebrity in Seinfeld, and he's called Jerry Seinfeld. I think he's a interesting guy as well. He is a stand-up comedian, and he tells jokes and that stuff. And I don't know much about the guy other than he played in it was Seinfeld and he's a stand-up comedian, but he is an interesting guy. And Tom Duncan's mentioned to me maybe he might actually see him. He might actually see him in LA because he told me he's actually going to go to LA. So that'd be interesting. Maybe we'll do an episode about that. We never know. But yeah, Jerry Seinfeld and The Rock. That's a bit of a jump there between how The Rock is just like a rat. He's just like a movie guy and that stuff, and then I mean Jerry Seinfeld is kind of in that realm, but The Rock's not a stand-up comedian. But it's still related in the sense that they're both like show business kind of guys, and that stuff. So there is a few more celebrities. I'm not gonna go through every celebrity on the planet though. So what's another celebrity that comes to mind? There is so another celebrity. There's also like if we're going to do like The Rock for example, there's Snoop Dogg as well. He's really famous. Like that guy, just he has so many followers, and like he's been a famous rapper. You know that he's the guy that just smokes weed all the time. He's been on many radio shows and all of that stuff. He's made the rounds. Well, my thoughts on him go as far as he's just this guy that is just like this famous rapper and that kind of stuff. So there is definitely that. That's my thoughts on him. So there's also there's also Will Smith, which is a very big name. That's another celebrity that came to my head. So my thoughts on Will Smith. I didn't mind the guy. I've watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and I've seen some of his movies. He's an alright actor. There's that whole incident obviously with the slap and everything, but that by the time this comes out, that is the most outdated topic you could ever think of at the moment. That was in March that happened. It was a strange incident. I thought he was alright, but like I'm slapping Chris Rock. I think his name was Chris Rock. I'm trying to remember. It was a long time ago, anyways. So my thoughts, that was insane how he just went for this guy. He's like this guy on this TV show on this, this black American sitcom, whatever. Then he goes to slap this guy and because it said a joke and all that stuff. It was an interesting one. So that is Will Smith. I'm not going to spend too much time on Will Smith there, but he's a big celebrity. Made the rounds. A lot of these celebrities make the rounds a lot. So there's definitely Will Smith. Another celebrity that comes to mind is Taylor Swift, right? There's Taylor Swift, there's a few like Taylor Swift, she's like one of the most famous singers of all time. She's known for like her songs and that stuff, and she's really big when they talk about her on the news sometimes, and she's really big. My thoughts on her, I'm not like a Taylor Swift fan when it comes to her music especially, but she's alright. If I knew more about her, I don't know her entire history, but she's an alright person, I guess. I just don't know the entire story with her, other than she's just a singer. That's kind of similar to Snoop Dogg or whatever it was, where I just didn't know so much about them, only the specific details of what I've learnt about them. So so those are kind of the obvious celebrities. I don't know like underground celebrities that I mean, to be honest, I don't think celebrities can ever be underground because they have to have they have to be really famous, because that's the point of a celebrity. It has to be like you have to be really famous and everyone needs to know you and that stuff. So celebrities, yeah, there's a few celebrities that I know of, and I think that this sort of ends that segment because there is quite a few more celebrities. I mean, there's like Tom Cruise. There's so many, right? Tom Cruise just comes to mind because I've seen Top Gun Maverick and I love Tom Cruise as an act. I think he's a good person. He's quite the guy. I mean, I was gonna wrap up the segment, but there's also those late night show hosts and stuff. Those are celebrities, I guess. I think I've already gave my thoughts on those though, because I did that. I touched on that like in the TV when I went through that phase of the James Ramsey show where I did the TV and stuff like that. Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on celebrities. Overall, celebrities, right, those are just a few, but celebrities in general, I don't like every celebrity, because some of them can just be like these, like they're in it for the money and that stuff, so that kind of makes me feel a bit annoyed by celebrities, like, oh, I'm in it for the money, I don't care about the fans or bands or music, I just want to make this money and that stuff, so that's it there. in terms of influencers, like that term, especially social media influencers. So we're gonna get a little spicy now, right? This is the spicy that we've not really got here, but I'm gonna get a little spicy because there is absolutely, I mean, there's a slew I'll be touching on, but there is absolutely some influencers that are kind of strange. Who would have thought that, like, we live in an age where actually you have these girls on TikTok, right, and they basically just dance, right? They'll just dance in front of this camera, right? Get tons and tons of views, right? You know, you hear these stories of, oh, people should absolutely work hard and do this and do that to get to where they want to be. But these people, they just dance in front of a camera and think they're on top of the world, mate. You've not achieved anything there. You're just dancing in front of a camera. It's not that deep, bro. Yes, I'm talking about you, Addison Ray. I'm talking about you, Charlie D'Amelio, whatever your fucking name is. I don't know what your name is, right? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Yeah, jokes aside, I know who these kind of people are, right? These are the types of people that think they're on top of the world because they made one video on TikTok. They're absolutely psychopaths, and I don't hate them, but they're just cringy, right? I know I went through my whole TikTok phase and I used to like watch them dance and stuff, but I realise these people are actually crazy. They think they're on top of the world, and their ego, right? This is the thing with celebrities and influencers, that their ego just gets to them, and it depends on this influencer, but some of these influencers I'm mentioning, the ego just gets to them, and they absolutely just don't really know what they're doing, right, when they just say that they're on top of the world because they just made this one TikTok video thinking that they're gonna just be an absolute like phenomenon, but they have made fame, and Addison Rae made this absolute disaster of a song. Can't remember the name, but it is so bad, right? Don't even listen to it, right? I just thought like Addison Rae, right? She's cringy, she's terrible, nobody cares, nobody fucking cares, right? And Charlie D'Amelio, she had that whole thing about, I don't know, man, so much shit goes around with these influencers nowadays. So that's my whole spiel about those two. Other influencers, right? This is gonna get even spicier again. Holy God Almighty! You have not seen what I have seen with this one, because what are my thoughts on those influencers that are like these fat people, right? Thinking that they're gonna change lives because they're fat and all this stuff, right? Disclaimer: I don't hate fat people, but when you have these influencers like Lizzo going around thinking they're on top of the world, thinking that being fat is healthy, they've absolutely lost their minds. They've lost control. Their brain capacity is at 0.00 capacity, right? Because they don't realise that, you know, being fat is like, you know, you can be fat all day long, but if you go around preaching about being fat and saying it's this absolute like masterpiece of a lifestyle, you've gone insane. I'm sorry to say that, but you've gone insane. You don't know what you're doing. That's in terms of that. Just let's get even spicier here. OnlyFans models, right? We're gonna touch on this one. We're not gonna get into the specific details. But OnlyFans influencers and stuff like that. What do I think about them? Well, you know, I don't mind it, right? If it's your choice that you wanna just go out there, you know, take photos of yourself, put it on there, make videos of yourself with absolutely no clothes on, go do that, go crush the numbers. But when it's like glorified and it's just over exaggerated that, oh yeah, girls just need to do OnlyFans and it's gonna be an influential thing for the next generation and all of this pish, right? I think it's definitely a problem, because not everybody wants to do OnlyFans, right? It's just a trend that came up, and people just ride the trend, and it just so happens to be that starting OnlyFans is now the new thing and all of that stuff. So that's my thoughts on OnlyFans, right? OnlyFans it's okay in my opinion. Just don't over exaggerate it and make it a big deal, right? We know these people make money off of it. We know what's happening, right? They're paying for the subscription And it is really sad when you have all these men just like subscribing to it and stuff, because they just can't find a partner, so they just use that. I mean, it is smart for the person who's actually doing the OnlyFans, because they actually they're giving something to people and they're providing a service, so it's smart for them to make money off of that. But it's not logical to be like, yeah, so I just started an OnlyFans and it's amazing and it's like the thing you need to go for. No, it's just somebody does something and that's what they do, right? There's nothing else to it. Alright, got that off my chest. So we've covered those like I've absolutely went for females today, haven't I? I have not mentioned any man today. Like, I've just absolutely, like, with these influencers, I've not even mentioned any man. Before we segue into that rabbit hole of a disaster, so there's also the Kardashians, which is like, they're kind of like celebrity influencers, right? You've seen these idiots, you've seen them around having that plastic surgery all over their face. You've seen this happening where you have the Kardashians saying, we're so good at what we do. We have perfect surgery, and we do a show where we just talk so proud and go onto the world. Right? People can say what they want, right? People have seen these allegations where, like, they're saying that these people are absolute, like, these professional businesswomen and all that stuff. People don't know what they're talking about because they're not actually businesswomen, right? They're fake businesswomen. All they are doing is showing their ass off. All they're doing is proving to themselves, or proving to these people that they think they're on top of the world. It's another situation where they think they're on top of the world, but they're not, right? They just have a giant ego. They dig that ego even further by just flexing on people and being like, yes, we are on top of the world, we're changing lives, all that stuff. And that's the cringe side of celebrities and influencers. They think they're changing the world, they think they're doing something just because they look pretty on the internet and stuff like that. And there has been a lot of controversies around the Kardashians as well, and there definitely is. And the Kardashians is like Kim Kardashian, there's also Kylie Jenner, Kanye West is involved in it as well. There's some wild people involved in that. So that's kind of my thoughts on, like, the female influencers. Because I'm a misogynist, right? I'm obviously a misogynist, so I didn't want to go after the male. I didn't want to go after the male ones because I'm a male. You're absolutely wrong. That misconception just is blown out of the window. Because you remember when I did that impression of Top G? You remember when I did that entire spiel with my guest two dollars and like the Top G? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I actually give you my honest / raw sort of satirical and honest thoughts on the man himself. Give it up for ANDREUTATE. Andrew Tate. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it has came to the conclusion. I have absolutely got some thoughts for you tonight. So, Andrew Tate, this potato-looking ass, this potato head looking ass, you know, Bugatti driving ass, you know, multi-millionaire looking ass, being ass, whatever you want to call it, scamming these people, giving you the stupid Hustlers University little subscription nobody asked for, saying he's on top of the world, he's this motherfucking top G, he's all of this and all of that. Well, I've got to tell you right now, right, this guy has so much copium. This guy fails to realise the truth here, right? He's saying, I'm not a misogynist. Oh my god. I'm just women in my property. I'm a top G. Breakfast is not for you. I don't eat breakfast. He says all this. He says all of this. Meanwhile, flashback. There's a reason why he got kicked off of Big Brother. Freaking bet up a woman right here. This guy jokes about. This guy This guy makes us think that. Oh, he's a troll. Oh, he's trolling and he's just joking around. When he bet up this woman with a belt, right? Absolute psychopath, right? Says he's this, covers up the facts, then he tells you he's speaking the truth. What a dumbass, man. Andrew Tate is not a top G whatsoever, right? The roasty, jokey, aside, all of that aside, my honest take on Andrew Tate is, I used to think Andrew Tate was this troll. I used to think he was just this character that he was playing and that stuff. And then when you just watch these videos of this guy and you watch the video, he bet up this one with a belt, you just see him and he moves to Romania because he wants to do corruption and that kind of thing, your mind just shifts and you wake up and you're like, oh, this guy is clearly an idiot and you shouldn't listen to him, right? And Andrew Tate, right, recently got banned off of everything, right? Freedom of speech aside, when you take into consideration how it's just been this interesting thing of he's had this really dark past and all of that, you could say to yourself, yeah, maybe it's a good thing or it's a bad thing, but I'm not really here to speak on Andrew Tate getting deplatformed here. It's just my thoughts on him in general. I don't like him, right? I realise I don't like him, right? He said some spicy stuff about rape and all of that as well. It was absolutely wild. The guy is out of touch basically, and the thing is, right, he has this view where he basically says that women are his property and women shouldn't be treated the same as a man, and they should be his, right? And he can just prey on them and all of this stuff, right? So he really is insane, and he's done live streams with Aiden Ross, whatever. He's basically this streamer that goes on he does a little podcast with him. He's done it before, so I wanted to talk to him, and he did that. And there was also the Hassan Piker stuff as well, where they went on this live stream and they had a debate, and Andrew Tate, right, they were doing a bit empirical evidence, right, to prove how a fact is and how you deal with a certain statistic or whatever, and it was insane. Andrew Tate got destroyed on that live stream. Hassan Piker, right, my history with Hassan Piker goes back as far as he's this guy that says, oh, eat the rich, all that stuff. He's had insane views where he's just said eat the rich, but he buys he buys a expensive house and he has that stuff. But if you put that aside, he's not an entirely horrible person, because he destroyed Andrew Tate in a debate, and it was good to see him do that, because the guy is absolutely out of touch in my opinion, right? There is something he's one of those guys that drive up controversy as well, where he says something absolutely mind-boggling and it makes people just jump out their skin and that stuff. But he just blew up, and you just see all those videos, and he had the final message and there was this one section where he was like, my haters just don't understand that I don't hate women. And he was just trying to say he doesn't hate women. He was saying all of this nonsense, right? He was telling because in my life, right, I've learned that the more good you do, the more the good you'll receive back. Right? And you'll get, if you do things right for people, you'll get it back to you. You'll get more goodness coming your way and stuff. So the fact that Andrew Tate goes about this lifestyle saying, oh, you shouldn't be you shouldn't do things where you should have the goodness of your heart, and you should open up about donating to charity because it'll be so pretentious and it'll be so nasty if you just say something nice and all that stuff. When you should always be a good person, it's absolutely common sense. And this guy says he's spitting facts and all this piss, right? He doesn't know what he's talking about. And that's basically my spiel on Andrew Tate. That's the bottom line on Andrew Tate. He's a dumbass, don't listen to him. We've been tricked into this game he's played, right? And he has an uneducated view on women, the whole sex trafficking nonsense and all that stuff. The guy, and there's also this other guy called Sneeko. Don't even get me started on that idiot, right? He kind of dick rides Andrew Tate here because, you know, he's also Tristan Tate, his brother. They're both in there, right? And Sneeko is basically this guy who he supports Andrew Tate, and he's basically been like, he defends Andrew Tate constantly, and he just makes fun of people who disagree with him, like disagree with Andrew Tate and his opinions. They're psychopaths, right? Anybody that says somebody is insane for disagreeing with them is nonsense, right? Andrew Tate is just, it's crazy stuff. It is crazy stuff. Celebrities and influencers are some of them can just be absolutely insane. And that's kind of the message behind this episode. My thoughts on influencers and celebrities. This was a spicy one to film. Hopefully it still stays on YouTube because this is an interesting episode. I want you all to watch it because, man, I went in. I didn't have any remorse, right? I might have been trolling at some points. But yeah, I genuinely think that there is some influencers that are definitely like really cringy, that think they're on top of the world, they think they're doing things for the world. They say, oh, we're supporting charity. Oh, let's act like we're good people when you see them apologising for the things they do, and they just act like absolute idiots. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Right, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check us out on Spotify, Anchor and YouTube, of course. This is actually pre-recorded. This will be coming out after the podcast episode because this episode, I am actually recording this. I believe this has actually been recorded on the Saturday, or the Friday night, or the Saturday, whatever. Well, the Friday, sooner, close to when the James Ramblin' Show episode number 36 came out. So yeah, see you next week. This is basically almost half an hour of an episode, but yeah, bye. Make sure you don't be so egotistical like these dumb influencers and these dumb celebrities. But there are some good celebrities out there. Not every celebrity is bad, but some of them can just be absolutely crazy. So yeah, goodbye. What a long episode indeed. Bye.